Huddle around as Climbing the Pocket Network presents Jayson and the boys talking everything Minnesota Vikings. Watch the countdown timer.
Away we go again. Lost like I'm lost on purpose. If found, please return to. Girl, don't you know I'm lost on the road? I've been here before. When I get home, girl, don't you know I'm lost on the road? I've been here before. When I get home, my vision blurry, I'm paying the cost. I'm not enough. In fact, it's even better when you're not involved. When I miss your call, I feel that I evolve. Cause as you mentioned, I am more dependent than a college student on their parents or an old person on their pension. Not to mention when you hit me on WhatsApp without attention, and a bad booty bitch watched and she looks tempting. Look, my Achilles heel is when I said what I feel, you said baby come home, and I don't think that I will. Cause all this motherfucking stress is gonna get me killed. Girl, don't you know I'm lost on the road? I've been here before. When I get home, girl, don't you know I'm lost on the road? I've been here before. When I get home,
Huddle around as Climbing the Pocket Network presents Jayson and the boys talking everything Minnesota Vikings.
No, I can't play these games. No, you can't disrespect and call me names. Sending me signals like you about to switch lanes. Well, go on, do your thing. Go on, do your thing. I mix champagne and propane, get lit. I'm trying to forget all the things that you said, all the things that we did. Girl, don't you know I'm lost on the road? I've been here before. When I get home, girl, don't you know I'm lost on the road? I've been here before. When I get home, watch the breakdown. And I get home when I get home. You just gonna act like we normal now. Good luck. Don't you try to call me with that bullshit, telling me it's sorry. You act too quick. That's somebody else's problem now. You're somebody else's problem now. Don't you try to call me with that bullshit, telling me it's sorry. You act too quick. That's somebody else's problem now. You're somebody else's problem now.
Hey everybody, it's Dave here, and it's part of Vlogmas Day 22. Climbing the Pocket Network brings you in the huddle with the guys from Climbing the Pocket, also some from Pocket Protectors, and last but not least, significantly not least, the wonderful Flip Mozzie from 15 Minutes with Flip Mozzie. They're going to get ready to talk to you about some Vikings, Bears, Saints, and maybe a few other things as we roll into this week. Jayson, buddy, it's all yours.
All right. Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dave. And let's jump into this thing. My man, Myles, how you doing? How
What
you
up?
been? You rocking the gear, repping the team, saluting to service?
To be honest, I like low key am mad that I'm wearing this sweatshirt right now. This hoodie, like I love this hoodie. I think it's comfortable. Like I like the look. You know, salute to service, I guess too, right? But like, man, why am I repping this team right now?
Well, we can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but we can talk about that a little bit more in just a little bit. And Flip, that was a hearty laugh for you, man. What's so funny? Myles rocking the gear, salute to service. You went and switched out. Flip had to go and do a quick change before the camera started rolling. Put on the Vikings cap, ready to go. Flip, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm shunned. I'm shocked because Myles looks so damn good right now, man. And the Vikings have looked good though. They busted out those fresh white unis, so at least we got something going for us. I'm gonna have to be more positive if Myles is coming in at like this.
Hey, yeah. Hey, who got Zim to sign off on the all whites though? Who got Zim to sign off on the all whites?
Oh,
That was not Zim's idea.
Well, it supposedly was, Dave from up high. It was Zim
Hello,
talking
Dave.
to Parcells, and Parcells saying that going to unicolor helps with the players being able to distinguish between each other. But those beautiful white uniforms are a heck of a lot better than those dingy whites that the LA Rams wear.
Well, I like those, but
I kind of like those too.
yeah. I'm not gonna hate on the Rams.
Dave's the only one hating.
We can't be there hating on playoff teams in this economy.
Even if they lose to the Jets, it don't matter. They're still in a better position.
It's true.
Yeah.
So let's get to it. I mean, we got to talk about this team a little bit. I know it's been a bit disappointing, but Flip, I'm gonna go to you first. You're gonna be our voice of optimism. So I'm gonna see what kind of optimistic spin you can put on us letting Mitchell Trubisky lead 7 straight scoring drives on our Minnesota Vikings.
Here we go.
Wow, you see, and I'm gonna blame Myles again. Putting me in this spot to try to we're getting thumbs down videos on YouTube because we're just stating the facts about how bad this team is. But here I am. We got the quarterback. We got some Pro Bowl. Acceptances. We got 2 of them. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson going to the Pro Bowl. We got rookie receiver catch records being broken up in mini. So look, all the hope and positivity on this team is about the youth, about the 2020 rookie class. So those are the guys we gotta stick with. We gotta stick with Gladney, Cam Dantzler, Justin Jefferson, Ezra Cleveland. We gotta give Adam Thielen credit for showing up. Irv Smith, that's just a blip on the radar. That drop, he'll be back, no doubt in him. And that's a solid core. Hopefully at better positions than where we were entering the year. So it's good to see those guys not even being rookies anymore, really getting the starting time that they need to hopefully make a difference in 2021 and 2022.
How do you feel about some of the comparisons that we're seeing of this Vikings draft class with, that recent Saints draft class that is, by most accounts, in recent history, people call that 2015, I believe it was, Saints class, one of the best, potentially in history. And I've seen some comparisons. 2017, excuse me. I've seen some folks comparing this Vikings class to that 2017's Saints draft class. And I think, Myles, it was you said that you thought the 2015 Vikings draft was probably even better than the 2020 Vikings draft. So I guess could you give us a little bit more of your thoughts on that? And then just as Flip was saying, these youngsters, they have been playing, they have been coming along. Cam Dantzler's looking good. Early in the season, we were talking about Jeff Gladney coming along. DJ Wonnum was flashing a little bit earlier in the season. So it looks like we have some pieces to build on, I guess. But what are your thoughts on like where this Vikings draft class stacks up amongst other recent strong draft classes, either for the Vikings or elsewhere in the NFL?
So yes, the Vikings have had a strong draft class. Obviously, Justin Jefferson leads the way on that. He's obviously the best player out of that. He also plays a premium position, which is important. I think that should always factor here because as much as we hate talking about it, money is a big factor in the NFL for players. So if you can maximize a player onto the rookie contract, that's when you're going to get the most effectiveness from them because they're not going to impact your cap the way that they will, with the second and third contract. So that matters here. So you want to get the most out of these young guys as quickly as you can. So yes, the Vikings are getting high-level play from guys like Justin Jefferson, Cameron Dantzler, and a little bit of Ezra Cleveland, and I think a little bit of Jeff Gladney. I'd say those two are probably a little bit below the Cam Dantzler and Justin Jefferson, obviously. They've been a little bit more inconsistent, but they've played well at times. They've shown flashes, which is what you want to see. But I can't put this class anywhere near the 2015 Vikings or the 2017 Saints. I mean, the 2017 Saints team, like that team legit, that draft class legit is one of the best we've seen ever. And they've had high volume, high end talent from the jump. The 2015 Vikings class is as impressive in my opinion as that one though, because I mean, you got Daniil Hunter, Eric Kendricks, Stephon Diggs out of that. And then even Trey Waynes panned out, even if he was the first one and ended up isn't here anymore. He's still a really good cornerback. Like it's not like he's trash. I think that the issue people run into with Trey Waynes was just the fact that he was the 11th overall pick. If he was in the second round or something, we would be talking a lot better about Trey Waynes. I can guarantee you that. So I think overall that draft class in 2015 brought high-end impact right away for the Minnesota Vikings. And yes, the 2020 Vikings draft class has done that with a few of these guys, but their impact hasn't propelled this team outside of, in my opinion, Justin Jefferson and Cam Dantzler to being anything more than still middle-of-the-road team. The 2015 draft class, that draft class propelled that team into the playoffs. That draft class helped that team. Should have been a playoff winning team. We don't need to go down that road either. But like there are some of that, like that draft class was the main reason that team was able to go over the hump and be better earlier than they were supposed to be under Mike Zimmer's second season. And obviously the 2017 Saints, I mean those guys have been phenomenal, and they helped the Saints get to the NFC Championship game, or not the divisional game, and then the Minneapolis Miracle happened, all that stuff. But no, like I said, the 2020 draft class, impressive because of what's crazy is they had, 15 draft picks? I think only 5 of them have been like NFL caliber players up to this point. I think, obviously JJ, Gladney, Dantzler, Cleveland, and Wonnum have really been the only guys that have like stuck, in my opinion.
Well,
maybe I miss a guy here or there. Maybe special
but it's
teams.
still just 1 year. Yeah. It's still just 1 year.
100%. Yeah. As you project a little bit, let me go. I'll do that real quick flip, and then I'll let you take it over. As you project into the future, I mean, obviously Justin Jefferson, he's all pro potentially already. That, you expect that to continue to take off and let him continue to be a top 10, top 5 receiver in the league. So that's the impressive part. Can Cam Dantzler continue to be and maybe propel himself into a true shutdown type corner? That's still TBD, but he's on his way. Can Jeff Gladney be the weight room? Can Jeff Gladney be a high end, inside outside cornerback? One thing I want to say about Gladney real quick is I don't think he gets enough credit because he was asked to do the most out of any of the cornerbacks on this team. Obviously, when Mike Hughes got hurt, especially, but they were cross training him, and we know in this system under Mike Zimmer that's not easy to do. Getting cross trained at both nickel and on the outside, you have to know you have to know everything on that defense to be able to do that. And Gladney, he's had his ups and downs, his bumps and bruises, but that's still impressive to me to be able to like have that trust to earn that opportunity. So I don't think he gets enough credit for that. And then obviously I talked about Dantzler. Can Ezra Cleveland, where does he play? It's really hard to project Ezra Cleveland moving forward because we have no idea what the plan is for him, but you can see the potential. And then DJ Wonnum, can he become a rotational potential starting effective, edge rusher? That's where I don't think this class stacks up because some of those guys, those jumps that they're going to have to take are a lot higher, a lot further than some of the jumps that we saw from the 2015 draft class from the year 1 to year 2.
Yeah, let me try to say what Myles is referring to a little bit more forcefully because I agree with everything Myles said. What's so funny about this 2020 draft class and the potential that they've already shown is we put them in the shittiest situation for the. I mean, no mini camp, no training camp, no preseason games, and then literally week 1 against the Green Bay Packers, you're like, here, Jeff Gladney, cover Devontae Adams, and it's the same thing. Like Cameron Dantzler starting right away, Justin Jefferson, starting after 2 weeks, but also nobody here feels like we're maximizing Justin Jefferson right now. He's in a crap ass situation, if you ask me. Ezra Cleveland, hey, you were a left tackle, now you're a right guard. DJ Wonnum, again, look, you're starting. Deal with it. It's just amazing how little training development we gave these guys before asking them to make an impact on Sundays. And so that, I think that's what excites me the most is
that's a good point.
If we have good coaches, good positional coaches, good schemes that can start to build around these guys in a full offseason, then you could really see this thing start to pop to the same level or above what we saw from the 2015 class. And, you know, I'm not gonna say that the 27 Saints draft class is a given, that they're already that good. But they could be if you believe that we have the coaches to mold these guys correctly.
All right, so Flip, I'm gonna take you back because you brought up the coaches and some things, and you know, I appreciate the optimism. I appreciate what you've done. You've given us hope. You've let us look ahead to the future. But I got to bring us back just a little bit because there was a game. Dave said we were going to talk about it, so we got to talk about it just a little bit. I mean, what happened? Just from the jump, we just did not look prepared for what we were going to have to deal with in that game. And Flip, I need you to help me understand what happened in this game. Why were the Vikings seemingly so just outmatched by a Mitchell Trubisky-led offense by the Chicago Bears?
So a popular rhetoric going around right now with the Vikings at 6-8 is that the last time the Vikings played the Saints, our next opponent, the last time we played them in the playoffs and won was actually something that set the franchise back. And I absolutely hate that point. That's one of the dumbest points I've ever heard of. And here's why. Like, look, we are talking about golf on the pre-show. So if I'm playing golf and I'm on a par 3 and I shank my golf ball off a tree and it dribbles into the hole, I get a hole in one. Sure, I'm going to celebrate that. But the next time I play, I'm not going to try to hit the ball off the tree again. Like, I know that there are still things to fix. Even though I had success, I know that there are things to fix. So what we see in the Vikings is they either when they win, they think there's nothing wrong, or when they lose, they blame one problem. And what we saw in the Bears game that just pisses me off is we lost to the Bucs. We said, oh, we only lost that game because our kicker missed a bunch of kicks. He missed 4 kicks. That cost us 10 points. We would have won if he had made that kicks. So the Vikings go into the preparation week for the Bears. They have a sit-down meeting with Dan Bailey. They have a team meeting. Mike Zimmer's up in front of everybody saying, y'all, man, don't worry. We believe in our kicker. No big deal. And so what happens? They go into the Bears game. Dan Bailey makes all his kicks. But all the other terrible stuff that we saw in that Bucs game goes unfixed. And so you need to be able to learn from both your successes and your failures. You can't have this stupid ass reasoning where only one thing went wrong or everything's okay, everything's rainbows. We know the things that are good and bad about this football team, but the Vikings just continue to ignore them, and they all popped up against the Bears on Sunday.
But doesn't that kind of go against the point that you made about the narrative about the Saints game, where like that whole narrative, and for those who are listening, if they don't know what we're talking about right now, there's an idea that because the Vikings came from behind and beat the Saints in the playoffs, it extended the Zimmer-Spielman term, which maybe cost the Vikings a chance at having Stefanski come in, be the coach, have that offensive mind paired with the quarterback moving forward. So there's an idea that maybe that is a thing that set the team back. Flip disagrees with that, but then what I hear, yes, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is what I'm hearing in some of what you're saying, though, some of the issues that you do have with this team seem to come back in a big way on Mike Zimmer, Mike Zimmer's Mike Zimmer as CEO of a team, not Mike Zimmer as, the defensive coordinator, the guru, the man who can scheme up great plays, but the leader, Mike Zimmer, the man who's responsible for getting everyone ready and prepared. And so this is an issue that consistently throughout the season, you've brought up the fact that like we don't correct the big strategic things. We latch on to one thing. That seems to be a Zimmer issue. And so if people are saying that we would have been better off potentially with Stefanski here as the new head coach, as he has, this very talented Browns team potentially fighting for their division in the coming week, while we look at our team and we're hoping to finish the season at 500. I guess help me understand where you don't see those things as being at all connected.
You should not need that example. I mean, for the idea that Mike Zimmer was coaching for his job, that if we won, he was staying. If we lost, he was going. That's ridiculous, because what should happen is you should win that game and be able to say, you know what, even though you won, you're still not here. Or even better, even though you won, sure, we'll keep you, but we still got to do all these other things. And so that's where the Vikings fail, is they say, oh, you won, so everything's perfect. No need to change a thing. Keep on running the ball. You don't need that receiver. We don't need an offensive line. Let's get you a bunch of new defense. Like all this stuff that could change in the face of success to make you even better. They just don't do it. I go to the doctor once a year. I get my routine physical. If I feel a little pain on my wrist, I get that checked out. I don't need to be coughing up blood and have big time examples of the fact that I'm sick. I can just take little hints, even though I'm generally okay, and build upon that. And the Vikings don't do that. They need to have the head chopped off of the animal before they say, oh shit, something needs to change.
That's why we get into this every other year philosophy that happens. The fucking roller coaster that we have. Seriously, they'll fix. So what we saw last in 2019, from 2018, they fixed the issues that they had, or they viewed as issues in 2018, in 2019. In 2019, they were like, we'll just redo what we did in 2019 in 2020, and it'll work because it worked before. And then next year, in 2021, they'll correct some of the mistakes that they made in 2020, and it probably will work for the most part. Like, I can't sit here and say it's a guarantee, but like they'll pinpoint the few little issues that they have, and they'll say, that's all we need to do to fix our issues. We're now a Super Bowl contender. And then they'll make their little run. They'll get blown out at some point late in the season, whatever. Then but they'll get your hopes up again that the following season is going to be the year, and then they'll plummet again because they don't adjust to anything, because they think, well, we found success in the Vikings, perfect example, our run game. Dalvin Cook is our offense. If Dalvin Cook doesn't do it, we don't go, and nothing else matters. And so I'm just sick of the inconsistencies. Flip makes a lot of great points in the fact that they like to find patchwork, but they're not really trying to fully fix the structural issues that they have. Let's go fix the structural issues and move forward with it, rather than saying, here, piece there, and hopefully it'll work itself out in the long term, because it hasn't worked that way. I think.
So Myles, So you're the GM. You have the power. We're looking ahead. We've had some fire comments come through. We had some fire comments. Cousin Brown came through, said he's done with the team until everyone is fired. We got Nick saying what's up. We got Nick. We got Dave in there talking about he doesn't trust his quarterback. Myles, okay, so what are you doing? You can come in. You have all the power. What are the structural changes that you're making? Just give me three. What are your top three changes that you're going to make for this team moving into 2021 to stop the roller coaster of, yes, the team is in aggregate, and this is the thing, in aggregate, Zim has a great record. He has a great winning percentage. And so,
but not against good teams. Not against good teams, though.
I mean, also true. In aggregate, great winning percentage. So people who are in the Zimmer camp are going to say that, you're being idealistic. You're not being realistic, thinking that you're going to find a coach who is better than Mike Zimmer, who's going to produce a better record than Mike Zimmer, great scheme, great defensive coach, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So help me understand, coming in, what are the things you're going to do, and how are you going to sell that new vision to, say, ownership, since Flip seems to think that maybe they have a problem with making bold moves when they need to?
I feel like a broken record because I've been saying this for months. Their philosophies don't match. I would go in and tell the Wilfs, we need to match our philosophies. Right now, you have Mike Zimmer trying to pull the strings on how he wants his team to be run, but you also have Rick Spielman, who believes, hey, there's other parts of this that we got to make sure that we address and we get better. We got to help guys like Kirk Cousins out. We got to, we might need to lessen the defense a little bit because we need to make sure our offense is humming. But our quarterback at the same time, we need stability at that position. So we need to make sure that we pay our quarterback so that we have that long-term. Oh my God. Hey,
Cousin Brown shut down.
Cousin Brown is boom, letting them fly today.
He's feeling that. He's right though. But like no, so I'm lining my philosophies. I paid a quarterback a lot of money because they did not just pay Kirk Cousins because they thought it was just stability, right? They believe there's something there. Maybe Zim doesn't as much, or at least Zim doesn't think he needs a quarterback to be all that great for his teams to be successful. Fine. That's my issue, right? That doesn't match. That doesn't add up. So I'm making sure that if we're going to pay our quarterback a lot of money, we're going to invest in a top-flight first-round receiver and another top-flight receiver in Adam Thielen. We got an Irv Smith. We still have Dalvin Cook, who can be effective all over the field without having it to be 30-plus touches every fucking game to give us any chance. I'm making sure that we're doing more there to help that because you've invested so much in it. Why do you need to slow it down by forcing the run down their throats on first and 10, second and long? These second and long runs are killing me every week. It's just constant. And then everyone's like, oh my God, Kirk Cousins sucks because he's in 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. You expect guys to you expect them to always continue drives in those situations? No, because running the football on second and long doesn't do you any favors in that. You're not putting yourself in a successful situation. So for me, that's where I'm starting. I'm starting on the offensive side of the ball because to me, offense is king. Offense wins you games. Offense wins you championships because overall, you can be consistent in offense year over year the way that you can't be with defense. Defense is it's so inconsistent. And I think, Jayson, you've touched on that before. Like, yes, I want to have a good defense or at least a base level defense to make sure that they're not doing what the Vikings did, especially to start the season, giving up 36 points a game. Like, I'm making sure that the defense is in a good place, but it needs to start with making sure that my offense is going to score me, 27 plus points a game. I don't know what the full numbers are, but a lot of points. Just score, right? But I want to make sure that philosophy on offense doesn't need to be revolved around Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook can still be plenty involved. He can still be plenty focal point of this offense, but I can still do it while making sure that we have an explosive passing game and not having to always to be reliant on play action. But I'm also going to use play action more. I don't think they use play action enough. I still don't. But I'm also going to add a playmaker to pair with those guys, the Thielen and Jefferson, that can stretch the field. They need more of those guys because if the quote-unquote what we heard from the Tampa Bay Bucs game was Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson were getting doubled, well, that means somebody else has got to be one-on-one, right? Give me somebody else that can get open then. So make sure that I have that guy in place. Chad Beebe and BC Johnson, I think BC's better than Beebe, but either way, they're not guys that are going to threaten deep. What?
Myles
Chad
has
Beebe?
19 recommendations for how to fix this team.
Well, no,
I mean,
so I'm starting
about the same. I'm
starting with the offensive philosophy first. Thank you, Flip, for reining me back in. I'm starting with the offensive philosophy. He was gonna roll.
You got to let him go.
I love it. No, I love it.
No, for real, that's what I'm starting. The offensive philosophy is where it needs to start. and making sure that my offense has everything it needs to hum and get going. And then if I'm looking at the defensive side of the ball, I'm just making sure that I'm not paying players like nose tackles to be – I'm not paying non-premium positions and then letting my rookie cornerbacks thrown out to the wolves. Like, I'm making sure I'm investing in the cornerback position. I know Zim invests in the cornerback. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it doesn't have to be all rookies. I want to make sure I have a vet in place, but I want to make sure that, that we're impacting both levels of the defense. So I'm making sure we have a good initial pass rush with four guys, making sure I have a defensive coordinator that schemes well to create pressure. But I'm specifically making sure that we have guys at the cornerback position that won't get killed in one-on-one situations. That's my big thing. Like, I don't know. I just think I'm not saying that's not easy. These aren't easy things to like just up and do, but I think they're philosophy changes that aren't being hit on.
Well, what I always say is there's more than one good way to build a football team. Not every football team has to be built like the Chiefs or like the Ravens. You've got to find your own way. But what Myles is so good at identifying is there are so many mismatches in philosophy and scheme and talent on this team. I mean, we're talking about a team that drafted a running back in the 3rd round, but never uses him. We're talking about a team that drafts a tight end in the 2nd round, but still plays him behind Kyle Rudolph and is only getting starting time because Kyle Rudolph's injured. We're talking about a team that signed Anthony Barr to a big contract. He's a linebacker who's great at blitzing, and they never blitzed him. And we're talking about a team that signs Yannick Ngakoue to be a sack artist and then trades him away and now they suck at the pass rush. So none of these moves together make any sense. It just like pick a way and go with it. But that's not what the Vikings do. They spend all this money on shit that they don't use. It's like a really scary significant other, man. And I get so sick of watching it.
Well,
all
and
right, so
they
if we're going to sum this up, number one, you're paying Kirk Cousins.
No. He's already paid. Relax.
No, you're paying him.
Yeah.
So build around him in a way that makes him successful. So I would say that 1A, get Kirk another receiver who can beat man coverage, preferably one who's fast. 1B, because I saw that look on Flip's face, invest smartly in the interior offensive line. And where I would say smartly, if you're looking in the draft, don't draft people based on how they run block or how they fit your run blocking scheme.
Just sign a guy. Don't even draft.
At pass blocking. But Flip is correct. We actually should go and just find some Josh Klein level free agents on the low and let them just compete. And one of them will come out and be better than Dakota Dozier. Like, that's all we need. Because, like, I feel bad getting on these guys like Garrett Bradbury, who were brought in because of how well they run block, because it's not their fault they can't pass block. They never could pass block. So these guys
can't even get out on the screens. They can't get out on the screens for Dalvin even. And here's the thing, it's all the praise for the 2020 draft class. What's 2019 draft class up to? Okay. What's 2018 draft class up to? We want to give Rick a pat on the back. I mean, come on. We get one good draft every 5 years, and we're happy with that.
It's a fair point.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sorry, that's a very fair point. So number two, we're bargain shopping on the interior line on defense. I think if you notice a trend here, like Myles said, where the positions that don't really and truly impact the game overall, we're going to try to find values there. If we do need to spend,
better than spending,
we're going to try to spend at the corners, the pass rush, and if Harry's back, the person next to him might just need to be Andrew Sendejo level.
Bro, Will Parks.
Might be what we have to do there.
They've been trying to get Will Parks for a year and a half. Just bring me Will Parks. He can start.
Yeah, bring him in. And then number three, maybe the most important one, stop running so much on 2nd and long. And who knows? Maybe we have a team that can be somewhat decent 2 years in a row, if that's allowed in Vikings fandom.
I know the 2nd and long runs get a lot of hate, but y'all, what gets me is they run it on 1st down for 8 yards, and they got a 2nd and 2 on like their own 30-yard line, and then they just hand the ball off again for another 3 yards to get the 1st down. Show some.
Flip, I pulled the stats up for you just because you were very upset about this. So I went over to Running Backs Don't Matter and looked it up. So our expected pass rate on 2nd and short versus our actual pass rate, Vikings are 20% under what you would expect them to do in that position. They only actually pass the ball in 2nd and short 14% of the time.
It's like you get
scared. They're so scared.
They're so scared. They're so scared. And
they don't want to force it on 3rd down. They're like, we can't get to 3rd and 2.
Yeah. And it's like, look,
but 3rd and 7's okay. 3rd and 7's okay.
3rd and 7 is fine.
The story of the Vikings offense 2020 is they did try to come out passing, and Kirk came out at Jameis Winston levels. He was on pace during those first 5 games to throw 30 to 33 interceptions this year. So they scaled everything back, and Kubiak was like, if you're going to turn the ball over that much, nope, we're going to go conservative. And so they went conservative. Kirk started playing better. They beat the Packers with a conservative game plan. And we were all here saying, look, Kirk's playing well. It might be time to open it back up. And the Vikings were like, nah, we're good. We're not going to open it back up because we're still scared that Kirk's going to turn the ball over a lot. And I don't know. Go ahead. I don't know what the right answer is, but that is the story of what happened on offense.
Well, and what they do is they love to shove Justin Jefferson in our face on social media. And I'm not saying this in a negative way about Justin Jefferson. I mean, it's from the Vikings perspective. They love to let us know how good he is and how his rookie records and all that, while also still underutilizing him. Yes, this man is breaking records and that he's been impressive as hell. We know this. So doesn't that mean you shouldn't get him the ball more? We've been over this for 5 years with Stephon Diggs, with Adam Thielen. How you have high-end playmakers and you're still like the guy running the football is the one that's got to make sure we feature the most. And it'll never make sense to me.
Three targets for Adam Thielen. Let me ask y'all, what record would surprise you more? Would 8-8 surprise you more, or would 6-10 surprise you more at the end of this year?
What record am I hoping for, or would surprise me?
What would surprise you more?
I mean, 8-8 definitely.
Yeah, 8-8 would surprise me, but this team's always been an 8-8 type of team.
But I mean, for Kirk, I guess that would just keep him like perfectly balanced through all of this. But I guess that's a perfect segue. We'll go to that flip because next game, perfectly balanced. There it is. Flip, talk to me about it. We have a couple more games. We have our arch nemesis, that's not the Packers, coming, and we're gonna play them on Christmas. Are we getting presents that get us closer to 8-8, or are we getting presents that get us closer to maybe a quarterback in the draft? Talk to me.
Y'all, I was having like they started hyping up. They started hyping up this Christmas game before last Sunday, and it was giving me anxiety attacks, man. Just the thought of the Vikings playing the Saints on Christmas Day. One of my worst Vikings memories is a Christmas Eve game back in the Metrodome. My mom got me tickets. She got me brunch with the cheerleaders against the Packers. I was like, let's go. One of the best Christmas presents I ever received. And then 3 hours later, Ryan Longwell's kicking a game-winning field goal into my face. and I ruined Christmas for my entire family that year. So the day I know it's fun to see them live, prime time, watch it with the family. Man, I don't feel good about the Vikings in this one because I know they're just going to try to stick to the run. There's such a clear path for the Vikings to be competitive and win this game, but I don't have confidence that the coaches will let it rip. I mean, we got nothing to lose. 6-8, no real chance at the playoffs. We should air it out and see what we got in this game. There's no reason not to go pass heavy in this one, but I don't think we'll do that.
I mean, I thought we had a 2% chance, Flip.
We have a 2% chance. You want me to read the odds? You want me to? All right,
Flip,
all right.
Tell
Jayson.
me. No, please go through it, Flip. Tell me.
We got to beat the Saints, and then we got to beat the Lions, and then the Bears got to lose one of their last 2 games, and then the Cardinals got to lose both of their last 2 games. And if all that happens, the Vikings will be in the playoffs.
Whenever the Vikings have control of their own fate, they fuck it up. And then we're always like, oh man, I hope that team loses. I hope the Cardinals go 0-2 and we somehow go 2-0. I hope, we get all that luck back, even though we created that shit for ourselves. They did that to themselves. Like, yep. Just beat the Bears.
How do you think this game's gonna go?
What have I been saying? This team doesn't blow anybody out anymore, so they clearly aren't going to blow out the Saints. If they do,
you said they should have blown out a couple of our recent opponents. Maybe they flip it around in this game. We expect them to get massacred in, and they just just say fuck it, and they just go and do what we are, and they give us hope all over again. Is that not what you're seeing? No?
I mean, they're pretty good at that, and then you have fans being like, "Oh man, I hope the Cardinals lose." And the Saints have a good defense, so of course I don't think they're going to win. The Vikings, they're going to. They have an elite level cornerback in Marshawn Lattimore. They're likely just going to double team Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, like most good defenses do, and they'll say, we'll focus the rest on Dalvin Cook. And then the offensive coordinator and Kirk are going to be like, what do we do now? I can't throw that into double coverage. I can't force the ball here. I can't do these things because they took away all my opportunities now because we don't create anything else for ourselves. So
whatever the Kirk Cousins rushing prop is it's going to hit in this game. Is what you're telling me. Kirk's going for like 50 yards.
Essentially, against good defenses, they're likely going to struggle. I do think because there's no Michael Thomas, I think the defense will actually be decent this week. I mean, Drew Brees looks cooked. And like all they pretty much have is Alvin Kamara and an old Emmanuel Sanders. So
Little Jordan Humphrey. Hey,
welcome. In all honesty, we'll need to throw to CJ Ham. There it is. That's the key. Hey, that's the key.
Dave was ready.
Hey, he's actually hurt though. He's actually hurt. He missed practice today.
Oh no. Well, pack it in.
He's got time.
They play on Friday. But yeah, I think it'll be a closer game than I think it'll be, but I just think the Vikings will make too many mistakes. They've been prone to it. I mean, they're prone to make a stupid ass mistake.
Taysom's gonna come in and nuke the Vikings just so that Flip can talk about it with Eric the next time he's on the show.
Oh, and they're gonna trade. They're gonna trade for him.
Yo, let's get your boy Mariota.
Remember they used to do that shit?
Remember the Vikings
used to do that shit though? Hey,
every time a player would go off with them, they'd bring him in the next offseason.
Devin Aroma should do Corn Robinson. Man, I mean, you can keep going. But...
Hoosh.
Bernard Berrian.
Yeah. Bernard Berrian, yeah.
Those commercials give me anxiety. Can I ask in the comments, do we want the Vikings to win this game, or do we want to just lose the last two and get the higher draft pick?
The Saints have become like the Packers, where no matter what happens, fans want the Vikings to beat the Saints. Like, no matter how the season goes, beat the Saints, beat the Packers. Those are the most important things in the season. So I think a lot of fans will tell you they want to beat the Saints because they hate the Saints, and yeah, that's what I think.
I want to see the youngsters play well. I really do. I genuinely do. And I want to see Kirk play well too.
I'd like all those things to happen and them still lose and end up at 6 and 10.
You're not
David. I'm not doing no show on Christmas, man. I got.
What if they win and you're drunk
on Christmas? On Christmas,
you don't get drunk on Christmas.
I gotta do on the Mary Fisk is a nice lady. She don't want to watch me talk about the Vikings on Christmas. Y'all got better things to do.
I mean, possibly, but David might put you to work. It's Vlogmas, son.
Is the show even going up before the game?
Way to put the plug out there, Flip.
This show's live now.
Fuck all that shit. He said, "Fuck all that shit."
On Christmas.
Anywho. All right, I'm gonna bring it back. We're coming to the end of the hour here. So basically, what I'm hearing from both of you, we're expecting the Vikings to get massacred in this game, but we're hoping that the youngsters and maybe the quarterback play well, and maybe that's something for us to be hopeful about as we think about off-season things of that sort.
I want to keep seeing I almost call him Conklin.
Gronklin.
Yeah, I want to keep seeing him ball. Did you see him run after the catch for that touchdown?
Woo! I didn't know tight ends were allowed to do that.
Hey, 8-2 would never.
He's allowed to get you 10 yards per reception. And
Rudy hit that game winner against the Broncos last year, man. Come on.
There was nobody in front of him. He could have walked to the end zone.
Woo!
Flip, you didn't
All right.
Damn.
All right, y'all. Well, Myles, Flip, thanks for coming on tonight. Viewers, thanks for watching. Your comments were fantastic. Listeners, you're not getting the full experience, so you should become viewers. Come join everybody else over here in the comments. Watch this live when we do this on YouTube. Tell a friend, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And that is it. That's the show. David, talk to the people about Vlogmas. But do it with your mute. You have to take off the mute.
That helps.
There you go. Boom.
Vlogmas, where we broadcast live every day of the month of December. Today is Vlogmas Day 22. Vlogmas Day 23 is tomorrow, and you will be seeing Good Morning Gallahorn, the pregame show at 9 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night. Thursday, you'll see Two Old Bloggers with me and Darren Campbell. Friday, 10 to 15 minutes after the game, you're going to see Good Morning Gallahorn in the Raw with me, Drew, Ted, and Flip to talk
I'll be there.
That wonderful game. And then Saturday we have GMG and Friends. Sunday we have GMG and Friends. Haven't nailed down the Friends yet, but we're getting close. So you'll have to find out.
There it is.
Hey, you guys talking about Zim and everything else, I know how to fix this team. If I was the Wilfs,
Fire Zim.
Well, I think
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Dave's Zim apologist, so I like Zim. But I would go to Zim and say, hey, just like happened with Coughlin up in New York, you've got 1 year to fix this. I would suggest in the offseason you spend all your time looking to look at opponents' offenses and how to beat them. Right?
I can't get into this.
He does that.
I cannot. that is a terrible idea because what's Zim gonna if you tell him he's only got 1 year?
No, but then you tell him, look at those offenses and find the O-line coach you want, the offensive coordinator you want,
He's going to tell you Denison. He's going to tell you Kubiak
that you want to start to run, and get it done because Kubiak and Denison aren't it.
We should not ask Mike Zimmer to do anything about the offensive side of the ball. Other than stay away.
Yeah, but I think that's his problem. He has stayed away for 7 years, and he needs to get involved. Otherwise, it's going to cost him his job.
Zim gets involved with the offense, and that's the issue.
He doesn't trust his quarterback, so he forces the run.
No, that's what he wants.
That's a Kubiak issue.
That's what Zim wants. He's been saying it since day one.
Zim loves Kubiak.
Yeah, but I think it's because he doesn't trust his quarterback.
No. He's been doing this since before Kurt. He'd do it after Kurt.
It's true. See. It makes his defense look good. True. But anywho, David, you started a whole nother show. We're wrapping up this one.
And I don't need to.
Play the music, David. David, play the music.
But first, everybody, Merry Christmas. Stay safe. Happy holidays.
Yes.
Stay healthy.
Merry Christmas. Let's get to 7 and 8, boys.
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Let's get that top 10 pick, maybe.
Thank you for watching or listening. As always, if you like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. And if you're listening to the podcast, please rate us on your favorite aggregator. SKOL, everybody.